Episode 16. Being selfish. Yes, I'm being very, very selfish. What do I mean by that? Not in the accepted sense. There's a very subtle difference in this word selfish. There's a negative polarity, which I think most people can accept, self-serving. Doing things in the material sense. Look at me, I've got a bigger house than you, I've got a better salary than you, I've got more possessions than you, I'm a better person. How deluded that one is. But where's it going to get you? It might, if you live long enough, it might pay for you to go into a home when you're too exhausted and basically in vegetable state, and you're heading back to the terrible twos. You'll become wearing incontinent pants and basically doing an inverse of how you started. You'll be shriveling up like a dried prune instead of starting off as this tiny little thing that grows. And then you do like this mountain peak where you get to like middle age, and then things start sagging, falling off, or cut off because you've been coerced and told you've got this or that wrong with you and you've got to remove this or that, when that's complete bullshit. It's all gossip and hearsay. Train of thought again. Where did I get to? Yes, selfish, that was it. So the difference comes when you realise who you are, basically. When you realise and have that unshakable feeling of I am inside you, and you know that I am that I am, and you are an expression of I am in an individualized form. And if you think of it like the head, with human hairs on the head, you're one of those hairs that is attached to this head. So that collectively, that's all of us. So now, what is actually selfish? So when I say I'm doing things for selfish reasons, because I know it's in my best interests, if I can get you to realize who you are and accept who you are, and even hopefully give you ways of finding out who you are, not the fiction that is given to you, the gossip and hearsay that tells you you're this name and you were born on that day and your life is going to be this and that, and moulded and shaped by what's acceptable by this family group that you're put into, the familiar, the family liar. And you'll probably feel that a bit of an odd one out anyway, and you'll find that nothing actually fits. That's been my experience. And it sets you on a quest, and then you end up coming full circle and going inward to actually find the answer to this. And then you realise that we're just mirrors and reflections. So what actually is selfish? So if these help in any way, then that's all the better. You know, every video I make, I always mean to say, and I have said about all donations welcome, but what I actually forget to say is, link is in the description, and if you want to get in contact with me directly, there's a link in the description as well. If I can help beyond these videos, if you like what I've said, if it makes sense to you, if it feels right to you, then the door's open if you want to directly message me by means given in the description. We can go from there. Now, I don't know the answers. I'll tell you that straight off. I do not know the answers. I am knows the answers, but I do not know the answers. Note the difference. Me, myself, and I. It depends what you're talking to. If you're talking to the lower conscious physical being, that's just a servant that just does. you want to talk to the inner essence, then it's quite possible that, well, I can't give you the answers. What I'll probably be able to do is, it'll come out of it that you've already got the answer. You just needed, I don't know, say it's a book, you just need someone to show you what page to look at, maybe, to use that as an analogy. I'll tell you, actually, let's tell you a true story here. It's quite an amusing one, in a way, but not in another way. I had somebody, got a London A to Z, getting rather frustrated and flustered. And I said, well, what's the matter? Kew Gardens, I can't find Kew Gardens. I said, have you tried spelling it with a K? Seriously. They were spelling it with a Q, like when you're queuing up, and I thought, yeah, you'll be waiting a very long time if you're trying to find it that way. But it's amazing. But it's sad in a way, but it's also brilliant because it highlights that how compartmentalized, to not be able to formulate of, hang on, what if I'm not spelling it the right way? Because if you hear the word Q and you didn't know how to spell it, what would be the most logical way to spell it? And like I said before, you hear a word, just play with it. Say it fast, say it slow. Elongate the first syllable or whatever, and just see what comes out of it. And you might amaze yourself what you find. And amaze, well, what sort of maze are we talking? A maze or amazing? You could have some zing. But that's the magic that you can put in it yourself. I don't know how you're going to feel, do I? Only you know how you feel. Nobody else can know how you feel. The only one that can is you. There's lots more I can say that I'm going to hold off for other videos. In terms of actually recording, these are like done in batches. But I like to put convenient like chapter breaks because we've got to look at attention spans and keep that in mind. I mean, this is exceptionally long. This is the equivalent of listening to the Ring cycle to many minds, it would seem these days. Hopefully not to the ones that listen to this channel and similar channels to this that talk about such things. But at the same time, it's also check in with yourself. Have you found that your mind has wandered off? Maybe just one word that's been said earlier in this video. Have you found yourself like thought association? This is your lower conscious mind taking you off course again. It's no bad thing. It's not a mistake. It's actually a good thing because the key to it is to recognize, oh, my mind's gone off, I've missed what's been said. But you can just rewind it and play it forward again. And then another thing might happen, you'll realize that actually I do hear this, but though I couldn't readily recall it, but now I'm hearing it second time, I do remember hearing this. That's another strange phenomenon as well. Comes down to the indicator flashes, turn indicator flashes on the vehicle on the road, and about the 3 times before it registers. So same with YouTube videos. Let's take Rudolf Steiner or Neville Goddard or Manly P. Hall or Walter Russell. I could list many more. But just use those. Oh, Dr. Joseph Murphy, another good one. Depending on what sort of thing you want to look at, but whatever it is, I would recommend that you listen to it 3 times over. it's more than getting a concept of something. It's now starting to take that concept and then start working with it, start internalizing it. This is basically all that's been done with the opposite perspective of when you go into a confessional. But now you're going inside yourself. There's no middleman. You've got a direct access, a direct link there. Hopefully. Yes, and that's all. You might actually surprise and amaze yourself what you'll find out that you really do know more than you you realise. You don't know what you. What's the saying? You don't know what you don't know, or something like that. Anyway, I can't remember. But devil's in the detail. Remember, it's not parrot fashioning and remembering every little minute detail. It's getting the essence of the thing, getting hold of the blueprint and the essence and seeing how that applies to so much else. And you'll find that those blueprints, there's not actually that many of them. And particularly in the external world and the material world, there's actually very few blueprints. That's why they're so predictable. But that is something we can talk about in another discussion, because how it works is fascinating. How easily it works is so fascinating. And there's other things, other conclusions that come out of this as well, which are actually quite amazing. I'll save those over for more other videos. That's sort of a cliffhanger ending for you.